Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I don't know if many people know that this week we end the book of Genesis, and in the last parasha, in the last Torah portion, it's actually called Vayechi, which means that he lived. And it's talking about Jacob's last moments. And it's talking about the way in which, as he was dying, he made sure to gather his family close, made sure to be able to share with them what kind of blessings they should have in their lives. We're going to hear a lot more about these blessings. But the beginning of the Torah portion is strange, because it's that Jacob wants to bless his son Joseph. And so asks Joseph to bring Jacob's grandsons in front of him. And so he brings Ephraim and Manasseh up. Now Ephraim is the younger son, and so should get the blessing with the left hand, that lesser blessing. And Manasseh, who's older, should be blessed with the right hand, getting that primary blessing. And instead, what do they do? But Joseph actually reaches out his hand and takes his right hand and blesses Ephraim, and his left hand and blesses Manasseh. And in that way, he crosses his hands during this blessing. And so in some ways, it seems like, was he confused? No, he knew exactly what he was doing. He crossed that area like a map, saying X marks the spot of blessing. The blessing isn't one of them or the other. It's what rests between them, and that's love. And so on this Shabbat, as we gather, and we say that X marks the spot, that the winding road of our lives has led to this moment, where people are joining us from home, people are joining us in this sanctuary, but all of us are marking Shabbat, taking this time for community and love and joy. And so we invite you now to say Shabbat Shalom to the people around you. And if you're a little distant from people, well, who knows, maybe somebody's going to send a Shabbat greeting your way, no matter where you are. Our Shabbat greetings reach all the way to your home. We love that tonight we have not one rabbi, not two rabbis, my goodness, but three rabbis with us. And so we want to join the cantor to light the candles together. We're on page 120. Do this. I think cancer, I think you have to, oh no. I think the Rabbi Singer is going to lead the way. By the way, for you, I like the Rabbi Singer. We'll just stand right over here. Come on over. We're on page 123, and we invite you in body and in spirit to rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nishanu b'mitzvotav v'rata banu. B'shabbat kosho v'yahava uvratzon yichilanu, zikaron l'maaseh
תהילה למקראי קודש, זכר לציון מצרים, כי באנו לך אתה, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושלמת קודשך, ואהבת ורצון התחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
Amen.
L'chaim.
Ceremonial drink for you all.
Wow.
All right, that was great.
Taking one for the team, thank you.
Warm grape juice.
And so everyone can have a seat unless your name is Nathan Lamb. Nathan, we are so excited and grateful to welcome you into the family of the Jewish people. It seems strange to welcome you when you've been leading us for so long. And yet, we are honored now to invite you to be an associate here today.
I know, but now we have to also.
I'll never say no to a high. Turn me up here. This bima is not an unusual
I don't think your
place for you.
microphone's on, Mike.
It is on. Great. Being on this bima is not unusual for you because your very first time being at Temple Sholom for services, you stood right here. And as my mic gets turned on, there we go, that's better. You stood right here because your very first time in this space, you delivered a beautiful, beautiful sermon during our Or Chadash Shabbat. And that has been you through and through, of jumping right in. As a PhD student, I'm not entirely sure where you find the time to spend so much time at Temple Sholom.
I'm not sure. You can explain to me.
Yes. Well, here's some time points. No, because you sit on the leadership board of Or Chadash, you are on the leadership of our adult education committee. This past weekend, I got to see you as you introduced Rabbi Mike Moskowitz during our Sunday morning study, and that was a name that you were passionate about bringing. And next month, you're doing a similar introduction of Joy Ladin, an incredible professor I know you look up to, and just their writings are incredible. And you have brought so much of yourself, but you have also just been our teacher in so many ways on so many issues. I've called you a number of times, just, hey Nathan, is this okay? Yeah, they say it's okay. Okay, so we can go ahead. You are just a source of strength, of knowledge, and most importantly, of love. A source that we know we can tap that well for a smile, for just a lovely reaction to whatever it is that we are doing. And so in a few moments, we're going to open up the ark and place within your arms our most beloved gift, our Torah. I'm going to ask our congregation to rise. Come join me. So whereas you have taught us Torah so many times, the physical manifestation of all that you have taught us, and you will continue to teach us. And so, with the Torah in your arms, I'll invite you to read out loud the declaration of faith.
I make this affirmation as I enter the eternal covenant between God and the Jewish people. I choose to become a Jew of my own free will, motivated by neither fear nor financial gain. I accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religions, faiths, and practices. And I now pledge my loyalty to Judaism and the Jewish people. I promise to establish a Jewish home, participate actively in the life of the synagogue and the Jewish community. I commit myself to receive Torah and faithfully consider my Jewish parents. If I am blessed with children, I will raise them as Jews in every respect.
With this, we're going to lead, you are going to help lead the congregation in the words of Shema, those first 6 words of Rosh
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Adonai.
Nathan, with this, with the way that you hold this Torah so dearly in so many ways, it is my honor to announce your Hebrew name as Talia Zohar mi Beit Abraham Sarah. May this name of Talia, of drops of dew, remind you of nature, remind you of the drops of knowledge that you feel growing within you. And may Zohar, a gender non-binary name, be one for you of mysticism, of the spirituality of Judaism. And may all of this bring you and us more learning and more peace. We're gonna invite my clergy friends up because we have a very special blessing for Talia Zohar. May God's light continue to shine down upon you, and may God be gracious to you.
May you feel lifted always by a divine presence. May that bring you peace. And to that we all say, Amen. Mazel tov. You turn now to page 134. You can be seated. Amru l'Adonai v'chikor, v'chikor v'kol zimra, v'chatzufot v'kol shofar, kari lifnei HaMelech Adonai, Yirayim lo, tevel v'yoshvecha. If I'm wrong, you come
our most beautiful and celebratory way of Haggadah.
Page 146. As we turn to page 152, I love how sometimes when the cantor leads the service during a religious school, sometimes he'll say, sing that first line out loud, and then whisper like angels that second line. And what I love is, I don't know, cantor, if you're familiar with this midrash that says from this week's Torah portion, that really, what is that first line? It's all of Jacob's sons, all the sons of Israel and Dinah surrounding him at his deathbed, and they're saying, Shema Yisrael, listen, Israel, listen, Dad. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You've taught us well. We know when we'll carry on. Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. And then he, just before dying, In that quietest of voice, but all the strength he could muster, he said back to them, and in that way that he was saying, thank you, blessed we are. And so in that way, tonight with that kavanah, that intention, we'll sing these words found on page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך וכתבתם במזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohim Emet. As we turn ahead to page 158, we sing for joy for the blessings that we have of freedom. And with that beautiful sense of freedom, we go and we kind of contemplate what the possibilities are, the possibilities of being kept safe, of shielding our brothers and our sisters, and making sure that the rest of our communities are safe from enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. In our words of Hashkivenu.
Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu v'chaim. Fros aleinu sukat shlomecha, fros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings. Shelter us beneath your wings, O our God.
ושמור והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
We rise in body and spirit, page 164.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Gadol, Hagibor, Ha'nora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hamor, Vezocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Uladi Bneihem, Leman Shemo Yaham, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach Magin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Abraham, Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Lam Adonai, B'chayei Ha'olata, Ram Mashiach, Mashi Haruach, Mori Hagashem, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Tzomech Noflim Berofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emrato, Lishenei Achar, Michamocha Al-Yurot, Umidonegam, Melech Mimit Umechayeh, Umatzliach Yeshua, B'nemanat Al-Acharot. Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh Ha'ol Atah Kadosh V'Shemcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'Kol Yom Yehalelu Chasana Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
From our teachings, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai taught a parable. Men were on a ship. One of them took a drill and started drilling underneath him. The other said, "What are you doing?" He replied, "What do you care? It's not underneath you that I am drilling." But it is during our silent prayer that each of us drills deep down inside, not just for what we bring up, for the love and the prayer and the blessings that we find deep down within ourselves, but also for all of those around us, for the love and the light that we bring out and into the world. Take a moment of silent prayer and meditation, each of us in our own life.
Oh, say shalom in Roma. Oh, say shalom in Roma. We are set, shalom. Ooh, we are set, shalom. We are set, shalom. Alleluia. May the one be the one who makes peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. Watch this. May the one be the one who makes peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one be the one who makes peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one be the one who makes peace, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom, shalom. Be Roma. Oh, say shalom,
Shalom.
be Roma. We are set, shalom. We are set, shalom. We are set, shalom. Alleluia. Here we go. May the one who makes peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace, bring peace down.
We ask in so many ways for that peace to be brought down. Peace, of course, being shalom, coming from the root of shalem, of wholeness of body, of spirit, and of soul. Thinking about those times that we as clergy have the incredible honor to be called upon to be with someone who is in need of healing. Whether it's over the phone or Zoom, really, when it's in the hospital room, when it's at the nursing home, when it's at someone's home, one of the thing that is wanted is so simple, can be brought down in just 3 words. Adonai, love me. Adonai, heal me. Those simple asks are so, so important. And so, if there are those who, first we're going to hear names that our friends who are joining us on Zoom, actually, first from this room, we'll ask if there are any of those who are thinking of those in need of healing. I invite you to share their names aloud.
Mark Webb.
Peter.
Susan Levine.
From our
Marion
friends.
Kramer, Lael Lilly, Susan Levine, Janet McDougall, Alfredo Garcia, Gerda Schell, Sarah Golub, Louise Chapman, Eddie Hobbs and Anthony Barnes, Max Cohn and Leanne Edwards, Sandy, Neville and Joan Stockhoff, Marcella Wilson and family, Mary and Tom Spriggs, Thelma Stills and Cookie Marks, Ruth Oppler and Sharon Schwartz and Rick Marco, Eric Levin, Beatrice Davis, Edie Cohn, Abner Drucker, Esther DeParker, and Cheryl Tanita, Jeanette Ponder, and Anna Kaplan, Terry Gassinger, Lori Dietz, Deborah Willage, Flo Bernberg, Jonathan Spitz and Elaine Baddock, Barry Ferris and Cogner Escalante, Greg Sessler and Marjorie Hilliard, Ronnie Bergman and Lynette. And that's Lynette Wallace and Sue Serbinsky, Marianne and Rick, Anne, Dan, Janine, Caleb, and Dennis, Alyssa Kaufman, Chuck Abrams, Joe Green, Leanna Gillooly, Darren Aronofsky, Jason Kyle, and Jan Albers.
For all of those, we pray the words of Adonai heal us.
Adonai, love me. Adonai, love me. Adonai, love me. Please love me, Adonai. Help us. Adonai, help us. Adonai, help us. Adonai, help us. Please help us, Adonai. You then, Adonai, heal them, Adonai, heal them, Adonai, heal them, please heal them, Adonai, love them, Adonai, love them, Adonai, love them, Adonai, love them, peace, love them, Adonai, heal us, Adonai, heal us, Adonai, heal us, Adonai, heal us, please heal us, Adonai. How about just one last time? Love us. That's all we need. It'll kind of cover everything. Adonai, love us, Adonai, love us, Adonai, love us, please, love us, Adonai.
If you had a birthday in December or have one coming up, we want to show some of you that love. So anyone here in our space, and then we'll look at our people on Zoom. Anyone have a birthday in December? I see one hand being pointed at, but we'll see if they want to join us up here.
Eli Conover.
Hi, Eli. Eli, you want to come up? Yeah, you do. All right, while Eli is coming up, is there anyone on our Zoom that it's their birthday? Julie Paradise, is it yours?
Perfect.
9.
I got you. Now I think I can hear you. Anyone else of our friends on Zoom? All right.
You know him?
Well,
No, I just hug people like that.
yeah. So Julie Paradise, when's your birthday?
29.
The
December
29th.
29th. I'll be 77.
77, incredible. 76?
2007.
Oh yeah, 2007. What day is your birthday?
December 28th.
December 28th. All right, so we're heavy on the back end here for celebrations. And so for the two of you and for those who don't want to come up, but we still celebrate all of your years around around the sun, around the moon, around the
In the
Earth.
world.
Astronomy, astronomy. We sing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו קיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. A big amen. More than anything else, you want us to both hug you right now?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew
Yes.
I knew it. I called it. Thank you. You're a good sport.
And happy birthday, Julie.
Shout out to Eli for the most rabbi's kid moment ever.
From one rabbi's kid to
One
another.
rabbi's kid to another.
Yeah.
Shout out there. Many Reform rabbis and cantors. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
So nice to see you. Many Reform rabbis and cantors, as part of our training, spend a period of time working as a chaplain in a hospital or nursing home. This is a program called CPE, or Clinical Pastoral Education. And the way it works is that you work in interfaith groups and you practice deep listening, self-reflection, and being with people in some of the most challenging of their lives. Part of the CPE training involves learning and practicing the art of giving extemporaneous blessings. You learn how to hold someone's hand, look them in the eye, and bless them on the spot. I have to admit that sometimes I found this task to be challenging. I've never had a problem saying a blessing over food or being called up to the Torah, but the idea of blessing another person can feel so at odds with the way we usually interact with one another. And I would get self-conscious and worry that the act of bestowing blessing appears literally holier than thou, as though the blesser believes themselves to have extra power or extra access to God. My close friend from rabbinical school, Rabbi Samantha Frank, on the other hand, is an expert blesser. When Samantha gives a blessing, she takes a breath, closes her eyes, and somehow magically finds the exact right words that reflect back the need for blessing at that moment. She radiates She radiates spiritual connection and authenticity, and I find myself marveling at her natural gift. I also noticed that the language of blessings has become surprisingly prevalent in our culture, whether it's casually saying bless you, thank you for that moment, or even with people referring to themselves ironically as #blessed. We bless people all the time at Temple Sholom. We got to give Nathan an amazing blessing earlier tonight. But I want to remind us that you do not need to be a rabbi in order to bless someone or cantor. We can all be bestowers of blessing. So in my search to grow more comfortable with bestowing blessings, I've wondered, what does it actually mean to bless someone? What are we trying to achieve when we bless other people? The rabbis of the Talmud ask a similar question. What is a blessing? In their answer, they make clear that a blessing is not a prayer or a hope for a magic trick to take place. They say, you can't count all of your grain,
You can tell this is a Talmudic example because they go straight to counting grain. They say you can't count all of your grain and then say a blessing and then recount your grain with the expectation that more grain will have magically appeared. That's not how blessings work. We don't get an instantaneous, instant gratification. Instead, they tell us that the best blessings are based in things that are hidden from our eyes. That blessings are a way of articulating our deepest hopes and dreams for another person. I love the idea that part of the goal of blessings is to get quiet, to listen, and to tap into that which may be hidden underneath the surface of what we think that we need. This Talmudic definition feels apt because so much of friendships and relationships involve seeing things in other people that they have a hard time seeing in themselves. A blessing is a humble articulation of that witnessing, of saying, I see what makes you so great. I need you to see that yourself. The best blessings do not convey a sense of authority that one person could have over another. And they're definitely not a way to be passive aggressive. It's not, I'm going to bless you with being on time to our next coffee date. Instead, they are a reflection that we truly see someone that we know and we love. This week's Torah portion, Vayechi, is all about unearthing hidden blessings. Jacob is nearing the end of his life, and Rabbi Conover taught us earlier that as he's doing so, Joseph, his son, brings Ephraim and Manasseh, Jacob's grandchildren, to Jacob's side for a blessing. The story tells us that Jacob puts his right hand on Ephraim's head and his left hand on Manasseh's. Real X marks the spot. Joseph tries to correct him, saying, Dad, you're confused. Manasseh's the other child. Put your hand on his head. The idea being that Manasseh gets, as the older child, gets a specific preordained blessing. But Jacob turns to Joseph and says, no, I know what I'm doing. Manasseh is going to be great. He's going to be successful. But I also see that Ephraim has qualities and leadership abilities that are going to make him the next leader of our people. This is how I'm giving these blessings. Jacob in this moment defies social convention and norms because he takes the time to step back and to see his grandchildren as their full selves and give them the blessings that they really need. We are called upon in this difficult moment to be like Jacob, to learn how to become bestowers of blessing. As we head into winter and we watch sometimes in some places COVID numbers are rising, we can remind each other of the strength that we see in one another. As we stress over making decisions, changing or keeping plans, we can call one another and say, this moment is hard, but I see how much you care. As we face moments of loneliness or despair, we can reach out to somebody we know and say, thank you for being my friend. Tonight, I bless all of you with the patience, grit, and strength to get through whatever comes your way in the next few weeks. I bless you with the quietness and calm that allows you to see that which is hidden in yourself and the people around you. And I hope that you, like me, will become confident in your ability to be a blesser to those around you, to bestow blessing on those you love, to say, I see you for who you really are. I appreciate you. And in doing so, you as the blesser become the blessing. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We take time now to continue blessing you with announcements of all of the exciting things that are happening in our community over the next few weeks.
I'm gonna, whoa, that one got really loud. Every month, our incredible group of those who are celebrating life over 50 come together through modern texts and poetry and art. And so Mindful Jewish Aging is tomorrow at 1 p.m. For more info, that's on the website as well.
Well, and I hate to disappoint those of us who need to get up early on a Sunday morning, but there's no religious school, December 19th through January 2nd. There's gonna be a break. I apologize to the Simons family.
So sad.
And on this coming Monday, our Temple Sholom film night is happening, and we're gonna watch the 1996 movie Shine, and have a brief discussion afterwards.
And this coming Tuesday, if you're in between the age of 21 and 39, you are welcome to join the Macomb group. We are going to the Hanukkah themed bar in Wrigleyville, and you're encouraged to wear your ugliest, most atrocious Hanukkah sweater.
And our next two Shabbat services, or Friday night services, December 24th and December 31st, will be online only. So that means you get to join us either from home or from any fabulous place you want to join us from. We look forward to seeing you online December 24th and December 31st.
Thank you. We rise and turn to the close of our service. We are on page 586. Please be seated. We'll take a moment now to remember those who have blessed us in the past, those who made an enormous impact on our lives, who are missing this week. Anyone who has passed away in the last week, in the last month, in the last year, or previous years at this time, people who we're just thinking of this week, who want to share their name out loud. So if there's someone you're thinking of when you're sitting in this room, I'll bring my hand around the room. Please feel free to share their name out loud.
Sherry Chemical Goodman.
Yeah, to those names, the names of those who our online community are thinking of tonight.
Norman Berger, Perry Kaminsky, Irving Newman, Donald Fife, Bruce Kaplan, Seema Shepard, Sherry Warden, Donna Crosser, Randolph Sterling Shiner, Stephen J. Sondheim, Jenny Mancini, Howard V. Hone, Sandra Blanchard, Dennis Tossi, and Aaron Stein.
We add to those names people whose Shloshim and Yard site we are honoring tonight. Ida Oiring Lessman, Geraldine Templin, Raymond Gordon, Ron Sackheim, Colleen Marks, Lynette Thayer, as well as Bruce Abrams, Rhoda Bear, Charles Garanchik, Marjorie Garanchik, Henry Benach, Ida Vilner, Dale Pina, Carl Marie Burnett, Annie Quellar, Shirley Curtis, Irving Davis, Florence Ehrlich, Irving Fluxgold, Helga Franks, Joan Gaines, Susan Greenstein, Bernard Harris, Sheila Healy, Marjorie Cantor, Bruce Kaplan, Susan Parmo, Donald Carver, Chuck Kleinhans, Leonard Levine, Anita Royblatt Marks, Leona Merker, Clark Fleiss, Blanche Randall, Samuel Reinstein, Dr. Morton Rosen, Doris Rash, Stanley Saffron, Morris David Schneider, Jean Schomer, Rose Royblatt Shapiro, Irving Siegel, Bruce Cease, Charles Sterling, Ida Stillman, Jeremy Stone, Maxine Vicker, Isidore Wardy, Charles Willens, and Carol Wolf. May their memories be for a blessing. We rise and turn to our mother's cottage.
Page 598. Yitkadal Yitkadash Meiraba, Yalmati Brach Yute, Yamich Malkute, Chayachon, Yomechon, Ochaye, Chol Bet Israel, Baralau Bisman Karib, Yeshme Rabam, Rach Leolam, Lame Amaya, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitromam, Yitnaseh, Yitkadar, Yithalel, Yithalal, Shmei, Kusha, Leila, Min Kol Berchata, Shirata, Tushachata, Nachamata, Miran Yama, Yimru, Yeshlama Rabbanit Shemaya, L'chaim, Aleinu, Yal Kol Yisrael, Yimru, Zeh Shalom Yimroma, Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu, Yal Kol Yisrael. Oh, Zeh Shalom Yimroma, Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu Yal Kol Yisrael, Yimru. Amen.
As we close,
We're going to close with something a little, well, the audible that I pulled, because I enjoyed you singing it so much. Armada Lou, page 646. You can stay standing with me, or you can sit if you'd like to. Be comfortable, be yourself. And I think this kind of, when we do something antiphonally, when we do something like kind of call and response, it is a way of blessing each other. I love that, Rabbi Singer. So let's bless each other with a little hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sounds good. Hallelujah. 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 Maganu, Masechana. Page 646 to the top. Leoram Mashirot
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Tonight, come join us. We're going to be in the Oneg, we're going to be in the social hall, the Betty Ford Hall, for a social Oneg. And one of our clergy members will be joining, maybe right in the middle of the room, to say hi to everybody who's on Zoom.
Shabbat Shalom.